Welcome back, Tech Pagitt Radio, AM 950 and TechPagittRadio.com around the world. Maybe up there on Space Station, 10:21, 21 minutes after the hour. Sunday, March 7th already. So all those things you wanted to get done in February, kick them over to that March list.
It's too late.
Hey, we try to bring up once a month or so a little ethical dilemma. The kinds of real-life ethical dilemmas that people would face, and we try to get your input on it. We try to ask you, what do you think? How do you look at this issue? So I threw one out there. I threw out to my little social network stream, which you can find over at DougPagittRadio.com. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. I'd love to connect with you through all those means. The question is, when you find something of value in a public place, is it okay for you to keep it? What do you do about that? Now, some people are saying it's not even a dilemma. I don't see how anyone would ever keep something like that. Well, let me tell you how the argument goes. And I've heard from a number of people on Facebook. They say things like, okay, look, if I find it in a public place where there's a lost and found, then I'll turn it into lost and found. And there's other folks who are saying, well, here's the problem with that. There's somebody who runs the lost and found, and nobody ever goes back to the lost and found. So the guy or gal running the lost and found, they just take that stuff.
You don't know that for sure.
No, they don't know. But they're saying they just take it. And people never come back for that stuff. Here's how the dilemma came up in my mind. Here's how it came up. I know this 16-year-old kid. I know him pretty well. Let's say he shares the same address I do. And he's at school. And he finds, after the buses drive away, he finds a jacket laying there on the sidewalk. And he brings it home. He brings it home. And he goes, look at the jacket I found. And I said, you can't keep that. It's not yours. He said, well, somebody left it there. I found it. Right? So here's the dilemma. And I'm thinking, do people do that? Do people actually keep the stuff that they find in public? So I start asking around, and you'd be surprised how often people keep this stuff, Grover. It's amazing. So then, a couple of days later, I pull up to the bank machine, the ATM bank machine at my bank. I don't see any car in front of me when I pull up. I pull up to the bank machine, roll down my window, reach out to grab a deposit slip, because this time I'm making deposits and not withdrawals. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. So I reach out to grab a deposit slip, and I look on the screen, and it's flashing a little message that says, do you need more time? Somebody had left their card in the machine, and it's asking, do you need more time? At which point I could have just said, yes, I need more time, withdrawal, start taking the cash, right? So I'm sitting there with this ethical dilemma thinking, I wonder what Grover would do. No, I'm thinking, what do people do in this situation? Now, it didn't tempt me at all to take the guy's money because I know there's security cameras there and they'd catch me. But what about the ethical dilemma of things like that, right? You find some money on the street. So this guy, David, messages me this morning and says he found a $100 bill on the street. $100 bill on the street. I'm like, what are you doing? Hanging around the drug corner? What are they doing? $100 bills blowing around the street. Whoops. Whoops. What are you doing, David? Down there picking up a little. So he said that he went to a couple of houses around there, knocked on the door. Nobody was home. So he said, I don't know who to give it to. So he kept it. So to him, finding $100, and then you know what he did with it? So he says.
What's that?
Donated it.
To himself?
to the college fund of his choice. No, he says that he donated it. And I heard that a lot from people. I heard people saying, when I find something of value that's cash, I don't keep it. If I have to take it, then I donate it. And you know what I thought? Now, maybe David's telling me the truth about the $100.
You're a liar.
You're a liar. You do not donate it. You do not. So here's the call out. Look, you find any cash like that and you really feel the need to donate it, send it over to Solomon's Porch Church, 100 West 46th Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55419. And if we start getting, cash in the mail, then we'll know. So people ask these questions all the time. Say you're on an airplane. What do you do on an airplane? You sit down in the seat in the airplane. There's an iPod in the pocket in front of you, Grover. What do you do? Do you keep that iPod?
No.
Or do you not? What? Who do you give it to?
I just give it to the stewardess.
Because you know who keeps it? And I know this as a fact.
The stewardess?
The airplane cleaners. The people that come in and clean the airplanes.
I suppose they get a lot of good stuff like
They
that.
get all kinds of stuff. They get, and there's probably like, I guess if you found a laptop in the front, but I've left an iPod on an airplane. I've gone back to the airplane to the airline people when I'm on like the next plane, I'm connecting or whatever,
Sure.
and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! I left my iPod in the pocket of that plane because they made me shut off my headphones and
Right.
And they said, oh, well, that'll be gone. I said, what do you mean it'll be gone?
That'll be gone.
And they say, well, the cleaners come in and take it.
So just anyone can get a cleaning job? It's not a bad gig. Maybe I should look into that. I can
Well,
use an iPod or.
Well, see, if yeah. I mean, why work an honest job? You can go around there and try to pick up the things that the travelers left.
Apparently, they have a set agreement that's a don't ask, don't tell
Yeah,
kind of a situation.
it's
over
a
there.
total don't ask, don't tell. So I'm wondering about the rest of you. Do you keep things that you find in public places? Is that something you do? Now we got people on the chat room that are that can chime in on it. We've got callers. So how about if we get a caller in here on this one? If you we only got a couple minutes left, but if you're somebody that has to deal with this ethical dilemma, kids deal with it all the time. I found it. My kids, I got to tell you, throughout their lives, they find all kinds of stuff. They find a bike. They find jackets. They come home with headphones. I'm like, how do you always find this stuff? And see,
It's lucky, I guess.
the ethical dilemma of these people is that if you find it, it's yours. And there's that thing, because I guarantee, Grover, you can finish this statement. Even you can finish this little saying. Possession is 9/10
of the law.
See? Why do we all know that? Possession's 9/10 of the law. Now, that has nothing to do with stuff you find on the street, but it's in our ethical pattern that people say if you find something. So maybe I call her 952-946-6205. And you give us a good story, I might give you a Schwann's gift certificate. By the way, congratulations to Muhammad Ali in Bloomington, the winner of the Schwann's gift certificate. It's good to see. Muhammad Ali, the winner of the gift certificate from caller
Lucky
number 4.
won the Schwann's card. Great name.
Laura Taylor says she never keeps things. Ever.
She obviously doesn't work in radio.
She obviously doesn't work in radio. Greg says, I actually had people when I worked at Target and Walgreens turn in $5 and $10 bills that they found on the ground in case someone were to come and ask for it. That always amazes me and impresses me. And usually it tends to be kids, but even every once in a while it's an adult. You know what? My wife and I, you know what we found one time? We found $20 out in front of a Quiznos.
Nice.
Ask Shelly what we did with that $20 we found in front of the Quiznos.
Okay, I'll ask
We
her.
bought a
I'll
couple
ask you.
sandwiches and we gave the people inside the store a good tip, and we said never, if anybody asked where the money came from. Yeah, we kept it and spent it. Dave is the one who says that he, goes on, finds a $100 bill laying on the street and he donates it. Well, see, there's ethical dilemmas that we face in our world, folks, and as I say regularly here on this show, we have decisions to make about the kind of world we want to live in. That 16-year-old kid I know wants to keep the jacket. I decided not to rob someone's bank account. I'm not sure that makes me any better than anybody else because that's sort of a gimme, right? You don't take someone's cash out of their cash machine. But we did keep the money found out in front of a Quiznos and went in and bought lunch with it. In case the person came back. And we even asked them in the store, should we give this to you? They said, oh, they'll never be back for it. Ethical dilemmas that we all face. Doug Badger Radio. Back with Carla Barnhill here after the break on AM 950 and DougBadgerRadio.com.
When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player.